Welcome to Reckless Paradise, everyone. I am your host, Marissa. I'm here with my co host, Dystro. Say hi.
Hello, everyone.
Happy Thursday, everybody. I hope everybody is having a. We are quickly approaching the end of March. Oh my god.
Yeah, it went so fast.
It really did. Um, literally, I literally just feel like we just started March, like, not too long ago. It's so weird, like, how this happens. But we are officially in spring. So happy spring, everybody. Welcome to spring. It's going to be hopefully a great season. We've gotten some rain, that's for sure. It's raining right now, so
Well, I already know that we're in spring down here because like allergy
yeah.
season.
Boo. I hate allergy season. That's the worst. That's the only bad thing about spring is the allergy season. I love the rain because it melts the snow up here, but like
Hmm.
allergy season, it sucks. I have very bad allergies to pollen, so like I get all stuffy and all that fun stuff. But anyways, thanks for joining us tonight, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's episode. This is going to be a very, very interesting episode. We are starting a new series called the What If series. We briefly mentioned this in our last episode at the end, but I'm going to mention it again for those of you who didn't watch the last episode that we just did. So, the What If series we have had in our minds for quite some time now, since last year. But unfortunately, we've been so booked full of like stuff we wanted to get out to you guys before getting to this. So, we decided to put this on the back burner for a little while, just so we can get some other stuff done. We had to wrap up our Nostalgia Day series, for example. We wanted to get that finished up and taken care of. So now we are giving birth to the What If series. So, with the What If series, it's not only going to be based on wrestling. This episode is wrestling based, but we're going to do it with like a whole bunch of musicians and artists and bands and stuff like that. It's going to be very interesting. So, with the What If series, we're basically like talking about all the what ifs. Like, what if, for example, what if Eddie Guerrero never passed away? This is tonight's episode. What if Eddie Guerrero edition?
Yeah, I had come up with a lot of like what if scenarios for like wrestling wise and stuff. I know you've come up with like music and musician wise yourself, so it's like there's a lot of topics that we will get to in due time. But
I'm
I
excited.
figured I figured like like what a good like first episode to do because like it's kind of like a good topic to talk about right now.
Yes, for many reasons. My sister, my younger sister, Candace, she might be listening. I'm not sure, but
Hi,
she,
Candace.
hi, she recently got into Eddie Guerrero because of me. Because I was like watching his stuff back when I was in a relationship at the time. I have his action figure. I got that as a birthday present, I believe, a couple years ago. I have the DVDs. My sister ordered the book. She's got like a book coming in, and she's gonna let me borrow it. So like I'm very, very interested to read it. I'm not a book reader, but I am willing to definitely take a look at this.
Hmm.
Um, so she recently got into him and like his life story and stuff like that, which is very interesting because when I first got into it, it was very fascinating for me, like how he literally went through hell and back, and like by the time he recovered from his addiction he had, it was too late.
Yeah, it was sad to hear like I think it was like at the time like I would be almost 8
When he
or
passed,
well yeah like when he passed it would be like I would have been like almost 7 maybe when he
I
passed.
was, let's see, I was 3. I was already 3 years old when he had passed. But so like
Yeah.
I don't remember it. I didn't learn about Eddie until when I grew up. Like
Hmm.
after I got older, like as time went on. Same thing about like the Benoit stuff. Like I didn't learn about that till I got older.
Hmm.
I had to look that up myself. But my dad always talked about Eddie, how he was like number one. Like he was just unstoppable. He was at the top of his game for everything.
Hmm. When it came to like like big money matches and so that like this is like before Big Match John was even a thing. Like
Yeah.
he was Big Match Eddie. Like
Oh
the
my god.
the one match that comes to mind is the one where he won the WWE title from Brock. That's the
Oh
one
yeah.
that comes to
Is
mind
isn't that like
automatically.
No Way Out 04?
Yeah, that's No Way Out '04, like the month before WrestleMania 20.
Fucking '04 was something else for wrestling. I could definitely tell you that. Now, though, I would absolutely love to go into full detail about Eddie. We have done a video on that already in the
Hmm.
past.
Hmm.
This was last year. We did it quite a while ago too. Actually, we did this.
Hmm.
So if you guys want to know more about Eddie Guerrero and his backstory, be sure to go check out that video. I think it's just called "Let's Talk Eddie Guerrero." So go
Yes.
check it out. We did it last year, like way back. So you're gonna have to dig deep into the archives.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, that should tell you everything you need to know about Eddie. But we kind of just gave you a brief synopsis of what he's all about. Literally one of the best wrestlers of all time.
Hmm.
Um, it's a shame that he passed. He passed away on the 13th of November in 2005. So
Yeah, that would have
he,
been before my
yeah.
7th birthday. Yeah.
Wasn't this like right before like what? Like was this before like a pay per view or something? I can't remember.
This is before Survivor Series, I believe.
Oh yes, that's right. Okay, that's right. And his last match was against Mr. Kennedy on SmackDown.
Hmm.
Wow. Holy shit.
Yeah. Um, it also little sidebar. We also want to kind of pay tribute to the Saliva guitarist that passed away
I forgot
earlier
about
today
that. Oh
too.
my god. I apologize. I was just like so focused. I was like ready to get into this. Um I'm gonna mention that at the end, if that's okay. Like
Yeah,
we'll just talk
that's
about it at
fine.
the end.
Uh,
But so back on the train here. Back on the train gang.
Back
Oh
of
my
the
god.
train.
Oh god. Okay, so let's think here. So there's a lot of what ifs when it comes to Eddie Guerrero, considering how well known he was in the professional wrestling business and how
Mhm,
good he was at his craft. What
mhm.
if Eddie never died? Like what do you think? Like what if he never died? Like do you think here's a good question. We're gonna start off with this. Do you think Dominic Mysterio would have gotten trained by him?
Ooh, that's a good question. Well, because like I think like they had just finished up that storyline at SummerSlam that year,
Right.
and I think he could have because it's like Dominic now. It's like he's kind of embracing Eddie's like persona now, like what he was like way back in like WCW and stuff. Like
Yeah.
like father like son. So like I think it could be possible because like if like that's a good like what if questions like if Ray didn't train Dom, it's like I think Eddie would have trained Dom.
Heck, I
Like
think both of them would have at least taken turns training him.
it's like it's like kind of like how should I put it? It's like Dom trains with Ray to like learn the lucha libre, like the technico side of things. Then when he trains with Eddie, it's like the heel side of things.
Oh yeah. Okay, I see what you're getting at.
Yeah,
That
that's what
is
I'm
a good
thinking.
point. Yeah.
Um, but I also think Eddie would have finished like his feud with Batista in '05 because like
That's
this is
right.
because he would have like be heading into Survivor Series and stuff and uh like you said like his last match was with Mr. Kennedy. Um, but I think he would have had like maybe a little bit of a mini feud with Kennedy just to build some momentum towards Survivor Series that year.
Right. That is interesting. Like I actually kind of forgot he had that feud with Batista back then at that time period.
Mm-hmm. I think
Wow.
I think a lot of people did to be honest.
There's a lot. Like there's just so much. Like my head's just overwhelmed. It's spinning with all these what if questions like off the top of my head. Like think about it. Think of all the rivalries he could have had with other superstars coming up into the business.
Well, I know Orton would be one.
Oh, absolutely.
Orton would be like number one for me. Uh, Off the top of my head, also would be. Well, I know he had the feud with Cena. He had the feud with Edge. Angle, obviously. Benoit. He had like a feud like with everybody.
A
he
little bit of everybody. He wanted a piece of everybody, even Rey Mysterio,
Yeah, like even his like own like kind of not flesh and blood, but like
his nephew,
his like yeah, like a nephew. Uh,
Chavo.
and It's yeah, even yeah, his own nephew
That's what
Chavo.
I was thinking of. Yeah, Chavo.
Because that was like '04. That was like that was like when A was getting his big huge push at that
Right.
time. Um, but I know like going towards Survivor Series, it was like Raw would have like they had like Big Show, Kane, Chris Masters, Carlito, HBK, like
There
that's
you go.
and like all like those stars and stuff like that. But then you have the SmackDown side of things of like JBL, Lashley, Batista, Mysterio, and Eddie, like all on a Survivor Series, like 5-on-5. Like that's that's a recipe for like greatness right there.
As soon as you mentioned HBK, I'm like, yeah, we never got Eddie versus HBK.
Um, yeah. So it's like I know like I'm going into like '06 a little bit, but it's like I think Ray would have not got that big push.
Perhaps,
He
perhaps.
he probably would have gotten that big push, but he didn't. He would have not won the world heavyweight title in Eddie's
Right.
honor. He would have not had that.
He wouldn't have had to
Um,
do that.
yeah,
Like, I think down the road, though, he definitely still would have won a Rumble, won the
right.
title,
Yeah,
just not in '06. Like, I
yeah.
think it would have been down the line. Like, I could see, like,
'07.
I could see, like, Eddie versus Ray for the title or something in '07 or something like that.
Yeah. I have like my notes, but it's Eddie versus Orton versus Batista for the world heavyweight title. Eddie pins Orton and Batista gets hurt shortly after, so that's where Batista got hurt at that
Oh,
year's Royal Rumble. And then HBK wins his third Royal Rumble, which sets up HBK and Eddie at Mania 22.
I would have loved to have seen that, to be honest. Like, that would have been awesome. Now, what about Triple H? Did he have a thing with Triple H or no?
He only had one match with Triple H,
Triple H.
and that was it. Like it was like
Yeah.
it was like very early on. Like I think like when he first came in to the company.
Yeah, I think they would have probably tried to rekindle something with that. I could see that doing something like him and like him versus Triple H or like a triple threat, him, Triple H, and Shawn.
So it's like the Benoit sort of situation that we had at Mania, like 20 sort of thing.
Yeah, the triple threat, like that would have been awesome to see. Like considering like fast forward to '07 at this time, Triple H and Shawn Michaels were on the same page again. So like
Hmm.
it'd be like a Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and Cena event. Remember that?
Oh yeah, true.
Right?
That's true.
When like,
That
the
is
bell
true.
rings, Shawn Michaels super kicks fucking Triple H. He's like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
You're just like, what the fuck just happened?
he was like, "What the fuck?" um, like another thing that I would add onto Eddie's resume, he would have won the Money in the Bank in '07.
Interesting take. Cough clap, cough clap.
I think he would have won that because it's like Kennedy, yeah, like he won in '07, but I don't think it had much gravitas as like like Eddie wins like his first Money in the Bank ladder match because the first Money in the Bank ladder match was at Mania 21. The opening match of that Mania was Eddie versus Ray.
Ah, yes, good old days.
So it's like, and it's tag champs going against each other. So the SmackDown tag team titles were defended. The Raw tag team titles weren't defended. The IC title, the US title, um, I think, and then like another title were not defended on that Mania at all.
Really, that's interesting to hear.
Yeah, so it's like it was just like, oh, okay, like, all right, So it's like an interesting like I guess situation, but um I think like I have like something like in '06 where it was like the King of the Ring winner, which was King Booker at that time, he would have won the the title at that time because like it's like a huge momentum for King Booker at that time. I think. But
I just had a funny thought in my head.
oh god.
Oh god.
Jake, book
Yeah,
out.
it's fucking Teddy Long announces on backstage and Booker T's with him. He's like, "You're gonna go 1-on-1 with Eddie Guerrero," and he's like, "Oh hell no!"
Oh hell no, no. Oh hell, oh. Um, but I think if I know like Eddie would go to Raw. I think Eddie going to Raw would be huge because you would have fresh matchups there, like Carlito, Shelton Benjamin, Flair, like
Chris Masters, even like I think he was coming onto the scene too at this time.
yeah, with the Master Lock Challenge.
Oh my god, I loved him so much.
Oh god.
So like, did he have a thing with Undertaker at all?
Um,
I would have loved to have seen that at WrestleMania.
he didn't have like a one-on-one situation with Undertaker. I know he had. It was a fatal four-way at Armageddon one year. It was Booker, Eddie, Taker, and JBL
Ugh,
for the WWE title.
jeez.
And it was like one of the stipulations was from Teddy, if any of JBL's cabinet would have interfered, JBL would have lost the championship.
Jeez.
So JBL had to literally suck up and like suck it up and take it like a man. And the finish was, um, it was like I think Booker hit the axe kick on Taker. Eddie had hit, I think, the frog splash on Booker or something, and but Booker had hit the knees up. Eddie rolls out of the ring. Booker kicks up like from the spinneroo or something, and then JBL just hits the clothesline from hell, and then he pins like 1, 2, 3. It
Wow.
was a hot finish too. I was like, oh shit.
Now, I think we definitely should have gotten Eddie versus Undertaker at one of the WrestleManias. Like that would have been badass, to be honest.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Like honestly, I don't mean to bring Benoit up, but same thing with him. We should have got that too. Like they're underdogs. Him and Benoit were underdogs.
It's funny because like we got it in the SVR games.
Yeah, but we didn't get it like
In real life.
IRL. Like, come
Yeah.
on, bro. Like, don't tease us like that.
Um
Jinx.
but
Oh.
another thing too, if Eddie had not passed, the Benoit tragedy would have never happened.
Yeah, I don't think it would have happened at all. I think Benoit and Eddie, if Eddie was still here, I think Benoit would still be here. 100%.
Hmm.
He would be in the Hall of Fame. He would be, still known as a decent human being.
Hmm.
Heck, he probably would have had like a wrestling school out in, I don't know, like pick a place in Canada. Like he probably would
Oh,
have started a wrestling school.
his hometown, Edmonton.
Edmonton, yeah.
It would have been like the Crippler school or something.
Crippler School of Wrestling. I don't know.
Cripper Wolverine school.
Okay, now it's just getting cringy. Um, like we could have gotten more Eddie versus Benoit stuff. Like we could have like had so fucking many matches. Like heck, Eddie, like he probably wouldn't have like had to like be inducted that soon into the Hall of Fame. Like it could have waited a couple years.
Hmm. Um, do you remember? I don't know if you remember, but do you remember the like Edge and like Vicky relationship at one
Oh
time in '08?
yes.
It's like I had wrote down my notes that said Edge would have not had the relationship story with Vicky.
Oh hell no! Fucking Eddie
Oh
would kick
hell
his
no!
butt. I could see that.
What are you doing with my wife,
Actually,
Holmes?
wait, no. It kind of would have worked. It would have been like a really good storyline, like custody of Vicky match.
Oh god, where the fuck is Vicky?
If Eddie loses, he needs to sign divorce papers.
It's like oh god, it's like there was a backstage segment that I remember. Do you remember the Booker T and like Cena like altercation with like they had backstage where it was like Cena's like, he's like I want to have a night with your wife, and like Sherman's like, oh
Oh,
hell no, 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 yeah. And then like Booker's like, okay. He's like, he goes, okay.
What? Wait, you're gonna have to send that to me.
It was in okay, God, it was so fucking funny. It was like he was like he was like, "Hey, what the hell you doing back here, Cena? Like, what the hell you doing back here?" He's like, hey, I'm not trying to do any trouble. He's like, I'm just wanting to talk to you man to man and stuff, from champ to champ, stuff. And then he's like, "What the hell are you talking about?" He's like, "What are you doing in my business? Like, what are you doing in my locker room?" And then he goes, Cena's like, I just wanted to have a night with the queen. And then Sharman's like, "Oh hell no, no, I'm not gonna do that. No, no, say no, Booker, say no." And then Booker's like, "Okay." She starts flipping out. She's like, "What the hell?"
Like, I want to see this. Like, oh my god.
I'll show it to you later. Just remind me.
Oh my god, I'm gonna. Like, I want to see this. You bring up,
uh,
like, the funniest moments that I've never seen before. It's fucking
it's
hilarious.
it's it's funny, like, cause like I remember like we were watching Booker T commentary
Oh
and
god.
stuff. Those are like the funniest shit ever. I know I know in '08, like him and like Eddie and Orton would be like a good rivalry to go back to. So it's like it kind of like takes a break from like the Cena and Orton sort of stuff that we had and all that stuff.
Yeah, which we just did an episode about that, like, literally a week ago.
Yeah.
So, but,
um
yeah, like, back to, like, the Eddie and Edge and Vicky, like, I think that storyline still would have happened. It's just that, like, Eddie would be trying to fight for Vicky, and Vicky would be throwing all these, like, allegations, like, oh, you cheated on me, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, Edge was there for me when you weren't, like, that kind of thing. Like, I could see that.
it's kind of like the real life like heat between Edge, Matt, and Lita back in the day.
Oh, yeah, we gotta look into that too. That's another thing we gotta do.
That's oh, that was such good. That was so good. Um, I think at what like maybe yeah 25 that year, like I think like Orton would have had like a fatal four-way sort of thing, because Orton would have had beef with Cena, he would have had beef with Triple H, and he would have had beef with Eddie, because like Cena would have won that Rumble that year. Eddie would have had his rematch, like because like and stuff like that. And Triple H just he's just there. So, but it's like it's so bizarre to like like talk about it now, because it's like yeah, like what if, like, because like he would have trained like so many wrestlers that we know today, I think too.
I agree with that.
um
100%.
but these are like three main feuds that I would wanted to see like in '09 if he was still around, right?
Yeah.
Just bear with me on this. Eddie versus Dolph Ziggler.
Ooh.
I think like and this is blonde hair Dolph Ziggler, not
Yeah, this is
brown
like
hair
old
Dolph.
school Dolph
Yeah, this is
Ziggler.
perfection Dolph Ziggler. Um, because like Dolph's an upcomer, and he takes like maybe two losses, not too much, but two losses. you know, Eddie versus Edge, it's self-explanatory right there. And then Eddie versus Jeff Hardy.
Oh man, that would be awesome.
Now, I think okay, the Punk and Jeff Hardy thing, I think that kind of worked, because I mean, you could always say the exact same thing for Punk and Eddie too. Like straight edge versus like, you know, Eddie's past and stuff, and bring up Eddie's past and all that stuff. He's like, that's not what I am anymore, Holmes. And he's like, well, that's what you used to be back in the day, but it's like, you got fired from here, a long time ago. And just bring up all that stuff. Like,
Getting all that heat, like Punk could get
yeah,
all the heat. Like, oh
yeah.
my god.
It's the exact same scenario with Jeff Hardy too.
Yeah, like
So
Jeff Hardy, he's had a struggling past. He still does. Like, I feel bad for him. Like,
I mean, he is in rehab right now,
it's
which is
hard.
yeah, and it's really hard because like it affects the loved ones around you.
It really does. Like, look at
Um,
Moxley. Look at fucking Moxley.
yeah. um, but I wanted to add this little thing here. So after those main three feuds, I would say, I would have Eddie do like an indie tour
That'd be interesting. Like,
from like
maybe go back to New Japan and then like circle around the Indies and stuff.
from like 2010 to like 2011, like maybe early 2011 sort of thing. Um, he would have matches with AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Shinsuke Nakamura, El Generico, Kevin Steen from TNA, ROH, and New Japan, like you said. Um, a lot of dream matches scenarios right there. Like that's a lot. Like that's a fantasy booker's dream right
I
there.
could definitely see him clashing with Jericho again, to be honest. I can see it.
Would Jericho be still?
Yeah.
No,
Jericho is still wrestling. Like, I'm talking about like just in general. Like, I feel like he would clash with Jericho. Um like when Jericho was at his prime as a heel in like what was it like
oh,
08?
yeah, 08 going into 09. That was
I
like,
could see him clashing with Jericho. Like I remember Jericho like it was the New Japan stuff, Lionheart and all that.
oh yeah, yeah, that's true.
So
That's true.
I could see that happening. I definitely could see that happening with a more modernized Chris Jericho from 08 up into 09. Back when everybody hated Jericho and they're like they wanted to beat the shit out of him.
Like Shawn Michaels did.
Fucking Shawn Michaels, John Cena, like everybody hated Chris Jericho at that time. Even I did. Like I think he was like just like the most hated wrestler at that time. He was a good heel. He played a good heel.
hmm It's like he plays a good heel, but it's like when he turns face, it's like it's kind of not believable for me.
I
It's
like
like,
it. Like I can believe it. Like I can see him as face. I can see him as heel. But he works better as a heel.
yeah, I would say so. He
Now
just gets more heat.
here's an interesting question. So when it comes to Eddie's retirement, what would have been his last match?
I actually have a little thing here. I think he would want to retire on his terms, to be honest. Um, and Vince, he sets up his return for the 2012 Royal Rumble, but he gives Eddie two options here. He gives him Punk and the WWE title, or Bryan in the World Heavyweight title.
Ooh, both are good. Not gonna lie, both are good choices.
Now, personally, I went with Punk and the WWE title.
Okay.
This is just me though.
Man, that's an interesting one to be honest. I really don't know. I really don't know. Like I was thinking like Ray would be his last, to be honest. That's what I was thinking.
So like Ray wins the title like currently earlier on the night or something, and sets up their match down the line at Mania and stuff.
That's what I was thinking, yeah, like another ultimate like old school collision between two fantastic freaking wrestlers.
Yeah,
Two
because
lifelong friends, who turned enemies for a short period of time.
it's kind of like the Triple H and Shawn Michaels scenario that
Oh
we just did.
yes. Gotta love that. But yeah, like I think it'd be a really good storybook ending is like if he had his well even then like Benoit too like Benoit would be a good choice.
I think okay. I know we're getting look a little bit into the Benoit thing. Like if Benoit had won one of the Rumbles, I think him versus Bryan would have been good.
Oh, you mean like if he won like another Rumble?
Like if he won a Rumble, yeah, like another Rumble.
Yeah, because he won in '04, so
Like if he had won another Rumble,
down the
him versus
line,
Bryan would have been awesome, I
picture
think.
perfect, absolutely.
Two technical submission specialists and stuff, like trading falls and all that, like an ultimate submission match like Kurt Angle and Benoit did back in like Mania 17 and stuff, like or Backlash of that year. So it's
Yeah,
like, whew.
like for
Uh,
me, like I said, like I feel like my two choices for like a final match for Eddie would either be Benoit or Mysterio. It
okay.
has to be. It fucking has to be. Like they're his friends, his best friends. Like
Hmm.
We've seen the chemistry he's had with both individuals, and it's just like I feel like it'd be the perfect storybook ending kind of thing.
I had put like little. I said so at the Rumble, the last two were Eddie and Jericho. I put in parentheses, sorry, Sheamus,
Ah, boo, poor
because
Sheamus.
because Sheamus, like like he infamously won the world title in 18 seconds at Mania 28 and stuff from Daniel Bryan, which sorry Brian. Uh, but like the two Mania matches I had were Jericho and Bryan, which is a callback to when they fought back in like OG NXT, like
Hmm.
when Miz was Bryan's like protege, which I'm like that's kind of funny because like Bryan was the pro at that time. And then Eddie versus Punk for the WWE title. Because
Right.
I think if you think about it, it's like Punk and Eddie, they were like in like OG like ROH back in the day too. Like Punk was
Yeah.
like coming up on like the indie scene and stuff.
So I'm looking at something on Instagram. Like I just like opened up my app. So Booker T, first thing that pops up, Booker T he posts a picture from like WrestleMania 21 when they went Hollywood.
Oh God, I'm just looking at it right now.
Like who is that? Is that Batista or is that
No, that's Eddie.
that's Eddie? Oh my
Yeah,
god, it
that's
looks like
Eddie.
Batista.
No, that's Eddie.
That's so funny and so coincidental too. Like that is so coincidental. Like I got
Uh,
goosebumps. Like what the fuck? I literally just opened the Instagram app. That popped up first fucking thing on my timeline. I'm like, what the fuck? Is he watching us?
I'm watching you, man. I'm watching you.
Oh my god, that's just so like coincidental. Wow.
Um, but the one thing I had put for the Eddie and Punk thing, like Punk would have won over Eddie as his retirement thing, because like I know that he wanted to go out on his terms, like I said, and Punk would have gotten his main event match at Mania, so he would have kept quiet.
Oh man. Is there anything else you think we should add before we close up shop?
um, I think he would have retired like I know I said 45, but it's like I think like maybe like a few more years in him a little bit.
Give or
Um,
take. Now,
give or
what year
take.
do you think he would have been inducted into the Hall of Fame?
Jeez. I think like maybe 2013.
Interesting take. Interesting. I was thinking around that time, like maybe 2012, 2013.
But he would have gotten inducted into the Hall of Fame by Benoit though.
Benoit and Ray, like together. I feel like they would have been together.
Yeah.
Considering they were together for his induction in 2006.
Yeah. Um, I add a little thing here. It says come back in 2015 to help with new train new wrestlers in NXT and helps NXT become a huge success.
Ooh, that's interesting.
And then still happy married to Vicky, enjoying life. Viva la Rasta.
Oh, God bless him, man. I miss him so much. Like, yeah, I wasn't like old enough to like know who he was, but like
Hmm.
I had to look into him as I got older, as a lot of people had to, like people from my
Hmm.
generation had to do that.
Hmm.
Um, but man, God bless him though, for real. Like one of the all-time greats. It's a shame that he's gone. I just there's so many what ifs, and I'm really glad we got to do this episode together as our very first what if episode.
Right. It's a very interesting like take on like what if scenarios and stuff like that. But it's just like again, it's a what if scenario, but it's like if he was still alive today, I think he would have been inducted like maybe two more times. Like, well, yeah, I guess like maybe another time because of Los Guerreros
I was
with
just gonna
Chavo.
say that, yeah, Los Guerreros, he probably would have been inducted as a part of that.
Because I was going to say like because like Booker T he got inducted by himself, but then he got inducted with Stevie Ray because of Harlem Heat and stuff. Like he would have been a two-time Hall of Famer.
It's like DX too, like Shawn and Triple H, like they got inducted. Well, I know Shawn got inducted.
I think Triple H hasn't got inducted yet.
That's surprising. And then like, yeah, I think Shawn's like the only one of DX that got inducted on his own, right?
Uh, yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Like, because China didn't yet, which is a shame. Like, I'm still waiting for that. I would love to see that.
I think I don't know if it's true or not, but I think this year should be her induction year. Should be.
I'd love to see that, to be honest. But, anyways, I think that's gonna wrap up our What If Eddie Guerrero edition episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. What are some what ifs that you guys have? Like, what do you guys think? Like, let us know. Social media, comments, do what you gotta do. Hit us up. Um, we try to reply. I mean, try. Um, so yeah, so Dystro mentioned earlier on in the video we do have like a little tribute we need to pay for. So Dystro, I'll let you take the reins.
Uh, so we just like what this was like earlier today.
Yeah,
Um, Saliva's, I guess like what, the lead guitarist?
I think yeah, I just considered him a guitarist. I didn't look too much into it.
It was Wayne. It was like Wayne. Oh God, I forgot his last name now.
I got it. Let me go back to my files here. Yeah, this dude that I just passed away earlier on today. By the name of Wayne Swinney. He was born in '63, so he would have been 60 this year.
Hmm.
He passed away in the hospital. He had like a brain hemorrhage or something like of that sort. He's a guitarist of well-known group Saliva, which if you guys are wrestling fans like we are, they have had many songs get used for pay-per-views for WWE. I know WrestleMania. What? Which one had click click boom?
Um. Oh God, now I
Click
got.
click boom.
Oh, I can't remember, but I know like Ladies and Gentlemen was on. I think Mania 22.
I'm gonna look it up.
I
Click
think.
click boom was used for No Mercy '01, so I was a little off, which is fine. So what was the other one?
I said Ladies and Gentlemen.
I remember that one. Ladies and gentlemen. That was WrestleMania 23 in '07.
Okay, I was a year off, but
It's okay. It's okay. But
um.
at least we know, like, their music got put onto WWE's pay per views.
Hmm. I know like they did. I think a Jericho theme too.
And they did Batista's theme.
Yeah. Uh, but yeah, it's like it's so surreal because like I think I had told you this. Like I had listened to Saliva like earlier on today, and then you had sent me that, and I was like, "What?" I was like, "What?" Like I was like, I just heard this dude. I was like, I just heard him.
It's like, what the fuck? It's like when you listen to a band and all of a sudden it's like, oh fuck, they just died. Like, what the fuck? Did we jinx it?
Like, damn it! But we wanted to pay our respects to him and his family and his peers.
God bless.
Yeah, like it sucks, man, because it's like a lot of these musicians and wrestlers and even actors, actresses, they're like all dying, and it's
Yeah.
it's just it's just it's just sad, It's
Life's
just
short,
sad.
Life's short. It doesn't last forever. And that's why I say you need to live every day, moment by moment. Like, it's really important. I stress that to everybody. It's important to live every day, moment by moment, regardless of if the moment is bad or good.
Hmm.
But yeah, God bless him. You will be missed. And yeah, I am so sorry for the fans and Saliva in general, the band. It's just like, oh my God.
Hmm.
So we got a couple more things to discuss before we wrap up the episode, including the song of the night. Dystro, what's your song of the night?
Now, in tribute to Wayne, Mr. Wayne, um, I'm gonna do a Saliva song.
Perfect.
See, you know. So I'm gonna do Weight of the World.
Oh, I don't think I've heard that one.
This is from I think Back into the System.
I haven't explored their music, so like this is new to me.
It's a good album. It's really good. It's like weight of the world. It's really good. But that's my
Song
song
of
of the
the
night.
night. Alright, so if you guys are interested in hearing Saliva's Weight of the World, be sure to stick around to the very end. There should be a link that pops up at the top right hand corner of the video. Go ahead and click on it when it pops up. It'll take you to the video. I'm gonna have to listen to that song too because I haven't really looked into like Saliva's music. I only know like the two songs I mentioned, and plus Batista's theme. So I'm gonna have to look into their stuff. That's gonna be another little side project I'm gonna have to do now.
You're like, thanks, Dystro.
Thanks. Actually, no, that's actually good. Like I like looking into new stuff. Okay, so our Sunday episode, we are going back in time just a little bit. Last year we ended up doing a top 10 Blink 182 songs video, which I don't know why we did it, to be honest. Like, I think we were just looking for content to put out. We, as music connoisseurs now in 2023, had no idea what Blink had to really offer. As you guys may remember, we just finished our Blink 182 pilgrimage at the end of February, so almost a whole month ago. Oh my god, I'm gonna like cry. I miss it. Um, so what we're gonna do? We're gonna do the same exact thing we just did with our ACDC songs, which we just did not too long ago. We're gonna do the same exact thing, but with Blink. We're gonna take our top 10 songs from last year and compare it to this year's picks. And I think it's once again gonna be completely different, minus one or two songs.
Yeah.
We've listened
That's
to every album, even the bonus tracks on Take Off Your Pants and Jacket. Now, correction. The only stuff we did not listen to is the deluxe version of California because it is fucking long. It's literally like two albums put together.
I think they should have like done it as like a little like side project sort of thing.
Right. It's not like the deluxe version of Neighborhoods where it's like three extra songs.
Yeah, it's like a whole other album. I think that's what they should have done to 7-9, to be honest.
Yeah, 9 was a shithole. But yeah, I'm very excited for this episode. Literally all next week is Blink. Just a heads up, all next week is Blink. So we are ending March with Blink 182 stuff.
On a high note.
I'm very excited. I'd have to say so far that has been my favorite pilgrimage we've done.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It was so fun. Like between like the emotional songs, the hard hitting songs, the really goofy funny songs, like the freaking Bohemian Rhapsody.
Something about you
Want you
that
that
I
I
can't
can't quite put my
put my
finger.
finger in. And then built this pool to woo.
Woo.
I wanna see some naked dudes.
That's
I
why I
built
built
this
this pool.
pool. Wait, is that
Is that
it?
really it? I swear, if that is on what is that? If that's on your top 10 list, oh my god, I'm gonna
Hey, you never
cry.
know. You never
Oh
know.
man, I gotta relook at my list. I haven't looked at it since like the beginning of the month. But anyways, yeah. So if you guys are interested in seeing that, be sure to tune in this Sunday. It's gonna be a good episode. I'm excited, but alas, we must end the episode. If you guys stuck around to the very end, we greatly appreciate your support. Be sure to follow us on social media by clicking on the link in the description below. We have Reddit, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. Follow us to keep up to date with the podcast and Dystro's gaming YouTube channel, which we actually hit 500. So
Yeah, what, like
literally a
few
couple
days?
days. It was literally like the night of the podcast on Sunday.
Yeah,
You're like,
it was
listen,
like,
I hit 500.
yeah, well, I was 3 away on that day, and then it was like the next day, like I got 500.
You literally
So
woke up and you hit 500. I'm like, oh my god, we literally hit it overnight. I was like, that's cool.
yeah, and now I am at, I think, 531.
I think last time I checked it was like 527, but like I could be wrong.
Well, I'm at 531 right now, I believe,
Oh, sweet.
or
So,
34 or something. I can't remember.
Dystro uploads weekly gaming content on his YouTube channel. Sometimes me and Ken's are on there because we play video games when we're not doing the podcast. Um, so be sure to go subscribe to him, help him reach 600.
Yeah, it's just lots of hilarity going on in those games.
Mm-hmm. So once again, be sure to follow us on social media. Go subscribe to his channel. Be sure to check out tonight's song of the night. It should be the top right hand corner of this episode, and that's a wrap. Thanks for listening, guys, and we will catch you guys this Sunday. Peace.
Peace.